What's going on? How you guys all doing today? I'm doing outstanding, okay? Is that a lie? Well, maybe, maybe not. I don't know. You got to stay positive, all right? I'm a negative guy at times just like everyone else. I'm a human being. We all make mistakes, right? I'm going to tell you this. I have read and met some interesting people ever since I started this channel. And to be honest with you, it's amazing. Okay, I'm really a fan of. I like to hear what other people think about what I have to say. You know why? Because I learn from it. I learn where my flaws are. I learn where maybe I'm not seeing things clearly. I make rant videos, guys. I'm a very outspoken person. We all know this, right? I think people today, with all the stuff going on, it's kind of stressful. It can really bring somebody down. Change is a part of life. Okay, we all know that. You'll get through it. All right, it's gonna be all right. It's not the end of America. It's not the end of everything. Okay, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through everything. It's not a big deal. You might be working in a shop. You might be miserable. You might think that I'm not getting ahead. I'm not getting ahead as a technician. I do all this studying. I try to learn. I buy the tooling, and they're not giving me these jobs. I just don't feel like I'm getting ahead. Well, I don't know what to tell you. You have to be comfortable with yourself, okay? First and foremost. I'm not the guy to be giving you advice, okay? But I can give you my insight, okay? That's kind of my goal. I'm 37 years old. I've lived a little bit, I've lived, and I mean lived, but I've worked in the industry a while, okay, and I care. I genuinely care, guys. I really do. I really do care. You know why I care? Because I was in the same shoes at one point. Is my life perfect doing what I do right now? Of course not. Of course I have problems with, I see my paycheck and I get depressed sometimes. It is what it is. Of course I'd love to be making $1 million. But the biggest thing I can tell you, I don't care what you do. This applies across the board in life. If you don't like where you're at, change it. Change it. It's not that hard, You see all these self-help books out there. You see all this stuff going on. I think people are they need to have the reassurance that it's going to be okay. You know what I mean? It's weird, but sometimes, role models. That's what we lack in our society is role models, okay? It's so hard to find good role models, but not really. There's a lot of great role models out there. Our industry. You got Brandon Steckler. You got Bryn Klein. You got Jim Morton. You got Mario from Super Mario Diagnostics. You got Cody Gotti from Cody's Auto Diagnostics. You got Eric Obrakta from South Main Auto. You've got Paul Danner from Scanner Danner Premium. I'm naming YouTube guys and professional trainers. You've got, there's so many guys out there. Jeff Compton. You've got Sean Schultz. The list goes on and on. The more and more you get entrenched, guys, in this industry and really get involved, like in the social media aspect, it's easy for us to get, tied up in controversy as human beings. I'm guilty. 100%. Guilty. But the bottom line is surround yourself with people that know more than you do. It's okay for you not to know something. It's okay for you to be struggling with it, okay? Don't feel like you're behind the curve, okay? You're not. If your end state is to get to where that guy you think where he's at, you don't know his struggles. I don't know Pat from Voltage Drop Diagnostics. I don't know what his struggles are. I don't know what Cody's struggles are. I don't know what Mario's struggles are. I don't know what Paul Danner. I don't know what their real struggles are. You don't know what my struggles are. All I can do is give you, you know, I've met so many awesome people, really, in my lifetime. Not just in the automotive industry, just in my lifetime. And I can tell you that no matter who it was, even if it was the bum on the street in Atlanta at one point in my life, or maybe it was a guy in jail, okay? And he has not a pot to piss in, monetarily speaking, in this world. I've been getting a lot of outreach from some religious individuals, okay? I'm not a real religious guy, but I'm gonna give you guys some personal insight into my life, okay? When I was younger, before I joined the service, and when I was 23 years old, and I was, still a young buck, graduated high school and whatnot, soul searching, right? At that age, you don't really know what you believe. You really don't know yet. You haven't formed it. You aren't an adult yet. You don't have kids, maybe. Maybe you do. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you're still searching to find out what you're comfortable with and what you can wake up every day and look in the mirror and say, I'm happy. If you're constantly worried about money, you're not going to be happy. Okay, guys? If you're constantly worried about what so-and-so's got and you don't have, and whether or not it's fair, you won't be happy. I'm a happy guy. I get mad. I mean, you see my videos on ranting about politics, but it doesn't mean I hate people. It doesn't mean I hate you because you think a certain way. Maybe I'm trying to inspire you to see it a different way. I like to think about things like how other people see it and how they perceive it, and try to put myself in their shoes to understand where they're coming from. At some point, though, you do have to draw a line. At some point, you have to say, hey, look, you have to cut ties. You have to say, look, man, either you pull your bootstraps up and make it happen. And a lot of my videos, I make for my own kids. My sons are getting to be older. My 13-year-old son, Soldier Grant and Soldier Garrett, they like to call themselves soldiers. They got their own gaming channels, and they want to do this. I don't discourage my children from that, but I hold them to standards. And I teach them. Life is not fair. Get over it. If you're constantly comparing yourself to the next guy, okay? Constantly thinking that you're inferior. You're not inferior, okay? Just because you're doing this right now, the longer you dwell on those things, guys, you're inhibiting your personal growth. Why do you think you see all these people out there making all this money on self-help, okay? I'm out here giving this advice for free. Why? Because I genuinely I care about people. I enjoy. Paul Danner. Okay, Paul Danner is a godly man. He has his flaws just like everyone else. He knows he's not perfect, just like I know I'm not perfect. But I can relate to the guy. And I'll tell you what, Erico, Keith from New Level Auto, all those guys, they're my role models, guys. Some of them are my peers. We're the same age. Some of them might even be younger than me, and I consider them a role model. You'd be surprised who I consider my role model. I look at other people and how they present themselves and how they talk and how they do things, and I learn from it, okay? That's what I learned in the service, too. Every aspect of your life has value, no matter where you're at. You got to stop thinking. You're going to think negatively. There's going to be times where you want to, okay? Let's just be honest here. Have you ever thought about killing yourself? Of course you have. But do you actually carry through with it? Come on. You learn from others. That's part of life. This might be a long video, and some of you might not want to watch it. That's fine. You don't have to watch it. You can subscribe. It doesn't matter. I'm comfortable with me. I'm comfortable with Nathan Pauly. All right? I don't own my own shop. I work for somebody. I enjoy it. I don't get paid enough. I'll never get paid enough. I could make $60,000 I can make $70,000. I can make $200,000. I can make $1 million a year. And it still wouldn't be enough if I'm not satisfied with what really matters to me as a person. If money is what you're after, go get it. See if it brings you happiness. Because a lot of times it don't. What really will bring you happiness, in my honest opinion, as a human being, is helping people. However you got to do it. I'm not saying fork out your dough. You don't have to fork out cash to help people. How do you help people? Maybe one person watches my video today and doesn't, they're in a bad spot. They're at that spot. And I've been there, guys. I've been there. You're at that spot where you have no inspiration. Mike from Flat Rate Mastery, he has inspired me. Charles from Humble Mechanic. Eric the Car Guy. I mean, all these guys, all these gals. Kuba from Kuba's Automotive. I mean, they're endless. They're endless. You can sit and watch and listen and learn from so many awesome people. Do they make mistakes? Absolutely. They're human beings. Everyone makes mistakes. But you got to switch the way you look at it. It's not about, yeah, you want to be successful. Everyone wants to be successful, and you will be successful. Everyone can be successful, but you have to understand that you as a human being have to accept yourself. You have to forgive yourself. You have to understand that you're a human being. You're not going to be the best runner. You're not going to be the best, it's like General Patton. I'm a big history guy, okay? Great leaders, great minds, right? The generals. I always loved reading. I read the book, The Generals. If you haven't read it, it's a good book. But read about great leaders and read about watch whoever you think is successful, watch them. Watch them and learn from them. See how they carry themselves. See how they act. See how they respond to things. Are they going to be perfect 100% of the time? No. So you take the good from them and you emulate it and you incorporate it into your life. And you're like, hey, it's kind of like your parents. I want to be like my dad in this aspect, but in this aspect, he was a complete asshole, okay? I'm not going to do that to my kids. I'm not going to be that. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, doesn't mean that your dad or whoever is a bad person. Just they have their flaws. They're a human being. It's not that hard to figure out. We just, as human beings, we need role models. And I don't care what age you are. You could be on your deathbed. You still have to have a role model. Maybe it's Jesus Christ. Not a bad role model to have. Maybe it's Muhammad. Whatever your religion is. I don't know. I'm not discrediting anything. Just find whatever works for you and whatever keeps you on that path. Whatever keeps you carrying your cross across that finish line, that's what matters. Just remember, nothing you get here is going with you. It's not going with you. You know what I'm saying? What really matters is people. People. Americans. And guys across the pond. European. Look at, you got Diagnosed Dan. You can, with social media, think about this. Everyone says, my parents are a perfect example. They're so against the social media. That's destroying society. Is it? Is society being destroyed by social media? Is society being destroyed by us networking as human beings? By us being able to, outside of our government and outside of the media and what we're being told, does it really hurt us? Or does it make us better as human beings? I can understand how a guy feels in China through a private message. Think about that. I can have a conversation with a guy instantly. Instantly. I can see what he does. I can see how he lives. I can understand and become a friend with him. Granted, face-to-face is important, but we got FaceTime now. I mean, think about that. You can FaceTime somebody from across the world. That's amazing. Anyways, drop your thoughts. That's all I got.